STC. This is Sprint 3's sprint review. I want to start with some reminders though before we get into it. The first being that our next meeting won't be until March 20th. Originally it was going to be March 13th, but then we would have just been out of schedule, so Matt suggested that we just don't do that one either and meet on schedule so things don't get crazy. So then instead of doing like a sprint planning meeting next week, I plan to send you guys a video around Monday of a Taiga board for Sprint 4, and you guys can give us feedback on that as if we were having an actual meeting. Okay, on to the Taiga board. So the first one is a user shall be notified if their input text has any formatting errors. Matt took the lead here, and there's still some tasks that I'm not going to call done, so I'm going to push this one to the next sprint, but you'll see some stuff pops up saying stuff is required, new password length. The reason I'm saying it's not finished because the password has some other requirements. It needs to have a capital letter, needs to have a lowercase letter, and needs to have a number, but we only check for length here. So that part's not done. And then also, if I log in and there's a red thing showing up, it shouldn't send a request, but it still does. And then we get like this invalid login, so it's just messy. So it shouldn't send a request unless all the validation is satisfied. So for that reason, I'm not considering that one done, pushing it to next sprint. A user should feel safe, so this is the HTTPS implementing CloudFront. That did not get gotten to because Rohan focused on the API gateway models and making sure that those get blocked, which you'll see later that we did get it working. An STC admin should be able to create a customer admin or a customer. So if I go ahead and log in as a STC admin or the STC admin, and then go over to new customer page, then I can create a new user, Crazy Taco, and I will give this user to my mom because I'm all out of emails, and we'll put the org ID as 10. So when the STC admin is creating a user, they get to choose what organization they're in, and they get to choose whether they're an admin or not. So if they want to like bring a new organization into the app, then they'll just list a new org ID here, and they'll also check is admin, and then it'll create a new customer admin in a new organization, and then that customer admin can then begin to create their own users inside that organization. So if I go ahead and submit here, so this is just a customer because it's not a customer admin. Successfully added Crazy Taco. Sorry, and then if we go to dashboard page, we should see Crazy Taco. Awesome. So the next one is a customer admin should be able to create a user for their organization. So this is like the same thing, except now it needs to be a customer admin creating the user. And the difference here is that they don't have a choice in the org ID or whether or not they're a customer admin or a customer. It'll force that person to be in the same org ID as them, and it'll automatically force them to be a customer. And then so the way we have it set up though is it allows for multiple customer admins, but we would just have to make an extra input here and change the Lambda function, but it wouldn't be too hard to make that work. But for now we're not doing it that way. Give this user to my dad, successfully added Crazy Lime, and there it is right there. So we just did that one. A customer admin or a customer should not be able to request a password reset. There's nothing really to show for this one except like the Lambda function, in that I extract the group from the ID token. I take the token from the authorization, get the group from it, and then I check whether or not it's an admin, and if it is, then I allow it, and otherwise I don't. And that's kind of like at the beginning of all of my Lambda functions. Users should be able to activate a user after they were disabled, and also a user can disable another user in lower auth levels. Um, so that's on here. So Crazy Cranberry should be able to disable Crazy Banana. Successfully disabled, and you'll see the button changes to activate. So then when I press that, we get the success message, and it changes to activate. So I can change all of these, and they come back like that. And then, oh, these ones are closed now. Oops. So the API gateway blocking requests, we finally got that working. So here's a request that we send to, this is, which one? I forgot what function this is, but it takes a username, and that's all it takes. So this is the valid request. So if we send it with a blank request, oh, the token has expired. Okay, let me get a correct token here. Sorry about that. STC login. That's what this big chunk is, the token. So now when we do this, we should get invalid request body. So then if I do with an extra thing, we should get the same invalid request body. And then of course if I send it with the correct thing, we will get successfully enabled user. Oh, I guess that's what the function was. Oh, sorry about that. So there's that, and then also we made it so that there's a get method for the, here, let me pull up the gateway. We have a get on the list user now. I found a way to do it using just the ID token. I messaged that in Slack. So that's great. Another thing, we had to add a reset resource. Originally we had the post method here doing the force reset password, but since we just added enable user should definitely go with disable user, so they're both in control. And then we added reset for when an admin wants to force the reset of a password of one of their users. And then Steven did not get to lazy loading. Even take the assignment. So hopefully he can. I believe he has researched it, and I think he'll be ready to tackle it next sprint. Yeah, so if you guys can give us feedback by Monday would be ideal, but I think it's fine if it's a little bit later. And then that is all from us. Yep, and then you'll hear from me on Monday with Sprint 4 planning. Thank you.